Like, just make it plain and simple. Take the power back and be like, I'm here. I'm ready to help. I will solve your problem. And if I can't, you will get assistance still.
If you don't make it a big deal, they just kind of get over it and do whatever they need. But if you're looking for them, like their huge agreement or buy-in on this, you're probably going to be sad. One of the things that customers might complain about, and again, this is in our beautiful, wonderful, absolutely amazing script booklet on how to handle upset customers. We go through all the scenarios. What about when like outsourcing happens, and maybe a client is getting an email from a foreign name or your agency's decided to utilize a service center and your neighbor is very upset that they can't talk to you anymore. Or maybe somebody has to talk to somebody at a different office location that's not local. That's not really outsourcing, but it kind of fits into the same thing, right?
Right.
Let's start with just, utilizing outsource, maybe VAs or an overseas kind of support center. What do you think on that, Stephen? I know you guys did a lot of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was empowering all parties involved at the agency to know what was acceptable and not. So part of the scripting and things that we used and how we got through a lot of it was our entire reception team was in the Philippines. You could not directly call anyone without going through the VA team. That was our company process because we wanted them to field the call and protect people's time.
Yeah.
So when they would get mad or upset or whatever, and they would get through, or they would send an email and be like, I can't get through. And the agent would be like, so you called the number and nobody answered? Or, well, I called and it was somebody in another country.
Mm.
And the agent would be like, awesome. So you just need to tell them you need to talk to me and what it's regarding, and I'm happy to help you. Or we can book an appointment and I will be happy to reach out to you. Like, kind of resetting the roles and the power, and also explaining the why. Like, hey, I got somebody throwing a fit. They get through to the producer, but they need to make a payment on a policy that's 12 months old, or 11 months old, right? The producer then gets empowered to be like, hey, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm glad you thought of me. I actually have X on my team who is amazing at this. She's our billing specialist. How about I get you over to them? If they can't solve your problem faster than I can, let me know.
I love it.
Like, we have to be able to talk through it and be confident in some of the things we need to do.
Yeah. I also think that, we can't, every time somebody has a little squabble, we can't just fold like it's everybody has the problem, right? So
we take the 1 in 1,000 and we try to make a big deal out of it.
This is why I love the idea of data, because I really just feel like, hey, well, when you think about like, okay, so we took 500 calls this week. That's probably low, 500 calls. And we had 2 people upset. Do you know that that's like 0.000 something percentage of the total calls we took? And we can't focus on that. But all these other people were fine.
Yeah.
And by the way, in most agencies, nobody wants to actually answer the phone. So you should just deal with it.
Yeah.
Next up is like when you use carrier outsourcing. I feel like this is the one where like everyone's so busy, everyone's so overwhelmed. So a carrier, like an agency decides to use carrier outsourcing. Then all of a sudden it becomes like, well, I want to talk to these customers. I don't know what's going on. I was like, but you were crying.
So overwhelmed that you didn't want to talk to them to begin with.
Yes, you were crying at your desk though. Like, but I didn't want this, and you're like, okay, I need you to, nama, right? Like just chill out.
My third cousin twice removed called and they had to talk to a service center to get their policy changed.
Yeah.
But that's horrible.
They had to wait on hold. They had to do these other things. But I think a lot of times like people just don't understand how it works. And that's why we always say the first step is I need you to just go ahead and like bypass everybody. Like when the phone picks up, it's like, if your policy is with X carrier, press 1.
Mm-hmm.
Get it right on over. And also understand like what's the why. So the why for me would be like they have extended hours. They work, they're right where their policy, they have everything open. So, they can help you more expeditiously than I can. There's like a million reasons to give somebody. Well, but I don't get to talk to you. Actually, I'm going to do annual renewal reviews. So you will get to talk to me because we've now saved so much time that we can do those darn renewal reviews, right?
Yes.
But I think it's also just holding the fort. And by the way, guess what? New customers, they don't know any different.
Nope.
They don't know any different. So it's not a big deal to them. Any other thoughts on carrier outsourced service centers and how people can handle that?
I think that it's just setting the expectation and the value to the customer as well, reminding them of the why. Like if they do get through to you, a lot of times the carrier servicing is 24/7 or it gets processed faster or all the underwriting questions get asked without back and forth because somebody else is taking it and they know the product in and out.
Yeah.
So I think also just sharing the value to the client or the why it's a good thing can help alleviate some of the pain.
Yeah. I think it's also just also like like, hey, you can call them on a Saturday. Like this is a huge
Correct.
benefit to you. We can't be open that many hours, or
Mhm.
one agency we had that used a service center, he had a great comment. He's like, well, why do you have to use that? It's like, because it's very hard to find qualified talent. Like we're struggling. If you know anybody that would like a job, have them call me. But just like everybody else, we're really struggling with finding people to come work. So we don't want you to have to be suffering through that. And then everyone was like, oh, okay. It's like, but if you know anyone that wants a job, please have them call me. I'm happy to talk to them. I will talk
Please.
to anybody. Because that's usually the reason why people use service centers is it's very difficult to find talent, right?
Right.
Now, this is one Stephen and I are dealing with very intimately, actually at two agencies. Well, it'll be too soon, but
Oh.
talking to somebody that's not in their general zip code.
Yes. But still
So,
located in the state
still in
that
the
they're
state,
doing business
still
in.
part of the agency, just for whatever, like the next person available is just in a 20 miles away. Which we're not in horse and
I
buggy time, right? We're not in horse
I
and
just had this conversation with another agency today where I'm like,
okay.
it's your customers, not this location, this location, this location, this person. And they're like, right. I'm like, so we just need to keep saying it.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep on the train, right? But what would you recommend? Like what's the right script?
I think it goes back to that value add of somebody's like, well, where are you? Are you in Tacoma? And I'm like, I'm in Summit Waller. And they're like, oh, I can only talk to somebody in Tacoma. I'm like, I share a zip code with Tacoma. Does that go? I'm like, no, I can.
Mm.
Okay, can you let me know why it's so important you only talk to somebody in that city? I mean, in my head, this is what I'm thinking. But I think at the same time, it's something very clear like, the great news is I'm still located here in the state of Washington. We have multiple locations and a whole team to help you. If the person that is your normal contact is out, you still have a whole team to rely on. You're not left waiting.
Okay.
So why don't you let me know what you need? And I'm happy to see if I can help you. And if I'm not confident that I'm the right choice, I'm going to get you to somebody that is. Like, just make it plain and simple. Take the power back and be like, I'm here. I'm ready to help. I will solve your problem. And if I can't, you will get assistance still.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's kind of about just like holding the fort,
Yeah.
like, okay, so yes, but I actually work with them very closely. We're all one team. How can I help you? Like, I don't think you have to, I think sometimes we're looking to like justify and get their agreement, where I think
Yeah.
we just need to not make a big deal about it. It's like, oh, I know her. She's amazing. I've worked with her for years now. I'm on the client team. So what can we do for you today?
Absolutely.
Like, if you don't make it a big deal, they just kinda get over it and do whatever they need. But if you're looking for them, like, their huge agreement or buy-in on this, you're probably gonna be sad.
Absolutely.
Probably gonna be sad. So that's how I would look at it. But just be strong, hold tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, I guess, right?
Correct.
So, what is some of the ideas that we have too, as far as if clients are really finicky about it? I always just say there comes a time where you probably just need to escalate it to your manager too, and just say, hey, let them kind of handle it. But don't get yourself super wrapped up into it. People will get over it. It's just change and it's something that they're not used to. Oh, and by the way, most insurance agents also hate change. So now it's like
Mm.
the critical joke of when it comes back of you hate change and you make that vocal, and then the client experience change and they make it vocal. Now you see how it feels.
Hmm.
Now you see how it feels. So, Stephen, how can people work with us? Because we have so many new exciting offerings that this is one little process pack we've been talking.
I heard this wild rumor that there is multiple ways to work with us. Like in person, you could have Kelly or I come to your great location and spend time with you and your team to do some training. We can also do that virtually as well. So you still get our shining personalities through the screen of your computer device. We also have the hot new trend that's happening all across agency performance partners of our small classes of virtual training. So you can have one person from your team take a seat with other like-minded agencies to experience change and get through it and be a shining role model for the rest of the team. Or you can purchase the online school, which gives you access to the course and you can train it to the team all on your lonesome, but it's still a great way to get her done.
I love it. I think it's fantastical.
So, Kelly, how can they find us?
They can click the links below us, apparently. They can go to agencyperformancepartners.com. They can DM us. They can send courier pigeons. They can send a facsimile if they choose. They could come to Rhode Island or Tacoma and see you, although we're not here that much. They could.
I'm like, can they really send us a fax? I mean, they could, I guess.
Could. I'm sure we could figure it out.
All right.
You can fill a form on our website. You could send me a love note. You could text me.
You could find me on Facebook and then connect and send me a message telling me
you can't find me on TikTok though, because it's too much of a time suck for me. I can't get myself involved in that.
Okay, you can find me on TikTok, but I don't use TikTok unless you send me a TikTok. Then I watch that one TikTok and I shut it again. I have good control.
I once lost like 47 minutes of my life on TikTok, and I was like, "Well, this cannot be part of my routine."
I agree with that.
And I'm not a good dancer, so like the dancing videos, I'm like, okay, like so happy you guys are all like dancing in your living room. Like that's not my jam.
Got it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stephen, for being such a good podcaster with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And next up, we've got more new exciting news, but check us out, man. There's no excuse at this point in time, in my mind, for you to have tools to train your team.
Get her done.
That is the scoop diddly-oop. Bye, Stephen. Have a good day.
Bye.